So obviously, disclaimer, because we only have Spade Yami to go off of, that's the only Yami we can use for the comparison. And that's what most people use anyways. They think that Spade Yami is stronger than Yosuga. Here's the issue with Spade Yami. He is essentially, like, he's technically featless. Kind of. Like, his best feat is in a defensive stance, he can take a casual hit from Lucifero when he blocks with it. And Yami was also using the Mistletoe sword that essentially has all of William's magic power into it. So let me actually bring the chapters up and I'll show you. So basically, this is Yami's best feat, and it's really not even by himself. He is using all of William's magic power too, and he takes this blow that was intended for Noct and just stifles it. But he doesn't really necessarily even scale. So first off, I'll find the chapter. So where is it? Oh yeah, so William right here. He says he's poured all of his magic into the blade, the Mistletoe blade, and he gives it to Yami. So this is like an amped Yami by having all of William's magic power in the sword. So this isn't even Yami's own scaling. He barely blocks the attack from Lucifero. He struggles here, and then Lucifero sends him flying away when he gets more serious. So that's like Yami's best scaling. And then it really gets even worse for Yami, because really his best stuff, it's not even inherent to himself. He has to go with Noct and do a monozone full release, which is a higher level of monozone, and they have to do a combo spell. Shadow Magic X Dark Magic, or yeah, Shadow Magic, Jesus Christ. Shadow Magic X Dark Magic. I cannot talk. And they do Kids Playground. And remember that combo spells are more than just A plus B. It's like an exponential boost. So this is a heavily amped Yami, and not only that, but the combo spell, it gets stronger and stronger. Because it says shadows create darkness. Infinite synergy between darkness and shadow that keeps getting stronger and stronger. It even says power surging through me. So they just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And despite all of this massive amp, Yami has William's sword. Yami is doing monozone full release. And he's doing a combo spell with Noct. And this is what he does to a suppressed Lucifero. This is what Yami can do to a suppressed Lucifero. So that's what basically we have for Yami. Is that he really doesn't have great scaling. And let me go up to different chapters now. Okay, so that's what we have for Yami. I showed you. Yami, with all of William's magic power, at monozone full release, a combo spell with Noct, can scratch a suppressed 50% Lucifero. And then what happens to Yami when Lucifero is at full power? They not only really can't do anything, but he gets butchered. So this is Yami with all of William's magic power with a combo spell with Noct at monozone full release, and Lucifero just butchers them. He just butchers. So this is Yami, and again, this isn't even really the Yami we can scale, because this is him with mini amps against Lucifero. So I think you guys get the idea of like how strong Yami is. Okay, the downplay is sad. It's not downplay though. Can you tell me how I'm downplaying Dope? You the homie, so I want to know how you think I'm downplaying when this is all he's done in the Spade Saga. Anyways, well, this is Yami when Lucifero strikes him with a physical blow. Of course, it's magically reinforced too. So this is Lucifero kicking Asta. A kick is likely more powerful than a punch, but it can change because they are using magic power. But yeah, this is a kick. Now a lot of people say that this is a huge deal for Asta. Like it broke his leg, but it didn't. Like this doesn't show any break. It just shows a kick. And yeah, he landed a solid blow, but it really doesn't do much to Asta. Let's go next chapter. Like, Asta essentially just lands after this, and he's fine. And then we literally see him after this in true Devil Union, standing, doesn't really show any wound to his leg. It's like, that is the worst thing that Lucifero did to Asta. So that's already, like, scaling right there that puts Devil Union Asta above that. And this is actually supported because I believe it's I have to go back to chapter 325. Okay, so Devil Union Asta is so powerful that the combo spell that Noct and Yami are doing right here, it can't even affect him. So that's already putting, evidence that Devil Union Asta, like even further beyond like the kick, that Devil Union Asta scales above a combo spell Yami. But not only that, but Lucifero even says that Asta is the most dangerous one here yet. And he does say you're the easiest to kill. This is kind of contradicted by the fact that Asta just essentially takes this attack, and also I'll show this other chapter that shows that Asta has actually decent durability. So 321. Oh yeah. So this will actually add to my point. So this is a Devil Unit Asta before he's actually broken his limits, and he actually can cut off Lucifero's horn. Whereas remember that the same Lucifero was able to. It took all of Yami's effort to block a punch from him, and also he got punched away anyways. And so yeah, that's like another point of evidence. But also, this shows that Lucifero's statement of Asta being the easiest to kill is kind of contradicted, because look how many times he hits Asta, and Asta survives this. So like that part of the statement, it's a little iffy. Phantom X, Yami's best feat, Children's Playground, but yeah, that's also a combo spell. So it actually doesn't even really, like, remember, this is just Yosuga versus Yami. This is not Yosuga versus Yami and Noct. So Yami's actually a lot weaker than Children's Playground or Shadow's Playground. Alright, so that is basically the evidence right there that Asta, his Devil Union, scales above Yami. And this is important because in chapter 334, Asta states that he is stronger than he was back then when he fought Lucifero. So this partial Devil Union Asta is stronger than Lucifero. People try and argue that partial Devil Union Asta is like he has no defenses, but this is actually not true. And I can prove that if we go back to chapter 333. So if we go to chapter 333, if Asta's anti-magic defenses were weak, let's just show a blatant contradiction. Asta does full black form, which is lesser than partial Devil Union, can move in this time stop spell, which means his durability, his anti-magic protecting him, is greater than this spell. Or it's strong enough at least to go against it, because he does have anti-magic. So it's like, water going against fire. Again, this is a statement right here that Lucius has absorbed all of Lucifero, so this actually, if you go off of that scaling, this Lucius is twice as strong as the Lucifero that Asta needed True Devil Union to beat, and Asta, in just his full black form, is negating the spell. Partial Devil Union is even stronger, so to say that he doesn't have really good anti-magic defenses in Partial Devil Union is kind of contradicted by his full black form already having good anti-magic defenses, but I'll even go further beyond it to show my point. If Asta was not protected by anti-magic in Partial Devil Union, then if we look at this, Lucius touches Asta, but he can't change him because it says that it won't work on it because of anti-magic, which means that anti-magic is protecting Asta here, even though it's not visible, because anti-magic is not always visible. So there we have the statements of Partial Devil Union Asta being stronger than, at the very least, Devil Union Asta, but a lot of evidence that he's stronger than True Devil Union. So just like that, just based off of that, this is already not spelling good things for Yami. Because remember, when Yami fought 50% Lucifero, even with William's sword and a monozone full release and Nox combo spell, he got butchered by 50% Lucifero. Yet Lucius likely scales above 100% Lucifero. So what does this have to do with Yosuga? Well, it's pretty obvious. I think it's chapter 345. Yosuga is fighting Asta. And so this is base Yosuga fighting partial Devil Union Asta. This is base Yosuga dodging a Zetten strike from partial Devil Union Asta. And this is, again, base Yosuga. And this is base Yosuga just dismantling partial Devil Union Asta. Again, the one that's stronger than Devil Union Asta, and that Devil Union Asta that's already stronger than Yami. This is not looking good for Yami already, guys. If base Yosuga is doing feats that pale in comparison, or if the Yami would pale in comparison to, then it's really not looking very good. Especially when we know that, as shown by the latest chapter. Well, actually, I'll add one more thing that makes it even crazier for Yosuga. Yosuga is so strong in his base that Fujio has to use his Yojutsu to make it so Asta takes less damage and his strength keeps getting recharged. So Fujio is nerfing Yosuga's attacks, and they are still doing this to Asta. So a nerfed Yosuga has way better feats than an amped Yami. And then let's just go to the chapter 351. And this is just proving that Yosuga does have a form, and then he can also do Zetten on top of it. So even if you argued that somehow combo spell Yami was equal to base Yosuga, Yosuga's form and transformation would make it so big, and then also it's also not even fair because that's including Noct into the fight. When this is the entire debate or discussion is Yami versus Yosuga, not Noct and Yami versus Yosuga. Now the really the big debate from here is, well, Yami's Dimension Slash versus Yosuga. People try and argue that Yami's just gonna launch a Dimension Slash, and because Yosuga is a tank, he's gonna just try and tank it. I disagree with this, for one. We know that Yami very rarely ever just starts with Dimension Slash. And when he does, it's usually because they are a evil character that needs to be put down. Yosuga's not evil. Yami will probably just recognize that he's from the land of the sun. And, yeah. But, again, that is a really weird argument to say that Yami's going to launch a Dimension Slash and Yosuga's just going to try and tank it. Especially because we've seen characters immediately, they've been able to discover what Yami's attack does. That it cuts space, it cuts dimensions. Like, Julius did that. And even Dante, he saw Yami do Dimension Slash. He's like, oh, he cut space. So, and that is a Dante who scaled to Yami's speed. So he would not be able to get a lot of time to analyze the technique. Whereas Yosuga, as shown, Yosuga can dodge a Zetten strike from Partial Devil Union, which is way faster than anything Yami's ever done. So the Dimension Slash that Yami strikes is going to be very slow to Yosuga's perception. Therefore, he would likely be able to determine that it's a Hax that cuts space or cuts dimensions, which means he can't just sit there and tank it. And also, this again is just a really weird thing. If you're going to assume Bloodlust and Yami just starts with a Dimension Slash, then you have to be fair and say that, okay, well then Yosuga starts Bloodlusted. And because he's so much faster and stronger, he blitzes Yami and one-shots him before he can get the Dimension Slash out. So, like, going off all that, yeah, just Yosuga claps Yami. It's not even close, but then again, guys, I am already saying this. Yami is going to scale above Yosuga eventually. It's going to happen. I remember when I predicted this would happen with Yami in the Spade Saga. In the first arc of the Spade Saga, he scaled to 80% Dante. And then, quickly, 80% Dante became very weak. And Yami, by that, became very weak. And I predicted that Yami was going to get stronger. I even said that the ritual was going to make Yami stronger. And it did. And then it made it so he could fight Lucifero, of course with help. But it made Yami way stronger. You even said that he was brimming with power because of the ritual. Something like that's going to happen again. I think that it could be that Yami will go to the Land of the Sun and he'll get his scroll, which will not only give him a magic power boost, but it will give him new spells. I think that also, of course, the most basic one, it's been 15 months. Yami's going to be stronger. There's just no way to quantify it. And there's no feats yet. So it's Yami's time skip training is going to make him stronger in terms of power scaling. He's going to get a scroll, I think. He's going to learn Zetten as well, I think. And I think that he might even level up his devil heart that he has, and he might become a devil and get like a devil form. So I do think that Yami will become stronger than Yosuga, but Yosuga it's really not even close. And again, this just shows like how strong the Ryuzen are for anybody who still thinks that the Ryuzen as a whole, like all 7 Ryuzen, could not defeat Lucifero. I just don't get it, because again, like we're talking here that even Yami's combo spell with Noct at monozone full release with William's sword is nothing to base Yosuga. Who base Yosuga would be nothing to his transformation, and his transformation would be nothing to his Zetten. So it just shows how many gaps of power leveling there is and power clipping. That is why Yosuga just wins, and why the Ryuzen body Lucifero.